Hey everybody, Ken here for Rainy Day Brain, and on this episode we're going to be doing something a little different. We'll see how it goes, but there's this book by a guy named Russ Harris which deals with something called ACT, or Acceptance and Commitment Therapy. Now, this is a branch of therapy that over the last 35 years or so seems to have been amassing a lot of clinical-based evidence of being actually effective for a way to manage the stress and the ups and downs that come with just being alive. The overall premise, from what I can tell, is it's what they claim to be an innovative, but everybody uses that word, right? But an innovative use of mindfulness and value-based decision making. So I'm naturally skeptical about things like this, but I'm approaching it with an open mind. A friend of mine sent me the book out of the blue. I had no idea it was coming, and suddenly there it is. I get this book in the mail. Oh, okay, cool. So what I thought we could do as a little experiment is I will, instead of reading the whole book and giving you a review on it, as I read each chapter or two, I will do a video, and then I'll explain the highlights of what the points he's trying to cover in the chapter, and we can kind of work through it together, because he will usually link to the various self-assessment tests and worksheets and exercises and everything. He'll link to them, so I'll post those links, and it's free, by the way. The resources are free, and I'll post the links in the description box, and then you can go download and print out those worksheets and tests yourself if you want to follow along at home. This isn't a sponsored post or anything. If you go buy his book, I'm not going to get a cut of it or anything like that. I just thought it might be something fun, and maybe it works, and maybe I get something out of it and you do too along the way. So the first part of the book, he focuses a lot on different control myths, and without going into the whole thing, basically his assertion is that from an early age we are all programmed through language that encourages us to believe that we can control our emotions and our thoughts by nothing more than sheer will. And one of my favorite examples he uses to hit home this scenario is he tells you to think about your leg really hard, and think about it so hard that you make the leg go numb, and make it numb enough to where if someone wanted to cut off your leg with a hacksaw, you wouldn't feel it. Now, of course, that's not going to work, because we do not have that level of control over our bodies. We also don't have that level of control over our emotions, or over our minds, over our thoughts. The more you try to not think about something, the more you think about it. The more you try not to think about the pink elephant, the more you're going to think about the pink elephant. See, you're thinking about the pink elephant right now. So another example he uses is if someone were to put a gun to your head and then say that they would kill you if you felt the least amount of anxiety or fear. Well, none of us would make it through that, because you can't will yourself to not feel fear. You can't do it. You can appear calm to an outside observer possibly, but you really have no control over the automatic responses of your body and your brain and your heart and your feelings. You really can't control those things. And yet, the point that he's trying to make is, and yet we are told from a very early age that that's exactly what we should be trying to do in every situation, which sets us up for failure and makes us feel guilty because we didn't try hard enough. They'll use sentences like, don't cry, or stop feeling sorry for yourself, or there's nothing to be afraid of under your bed, knock it off. You're told to get over it, whatever it happens to be. If you're injured during a sporting event, you're told to just walk it off. There's so many examples we can point to where people, where adults tell kids to just control what they're thinking and feeling and do it immediately and do it perfectly, and you just can't. So There's a really fun little quiz that he gives you, and I'll link in the description box to the quiz so you can download it and play along at home if you want. And basically, you've got, I think, around 13 or 14 numbered questions, and each numbered question has 2 choices, and those are A and B for each question. And the more A answers you have, the more it becomes very obvious that you are one of the people who is very impacted by that messaging, that get over it, think your way out of it, ignore the pain, push through it. All of my questions were A answers except for question number 10 and question number 13. And question 14, that's me. That's me in a nutshell. That is who I've been my entire life. And yeah, question 14 is the core of who I am as a person, and I really need to not be that person. And I'm hoping this book might show me how to do that. If you do take the test at home, let me know what your results are. I'd be curious. And if you like this idea, then stick around, because like I said, I'm going to do a video for every 1 or 2 chapters that I read, and maybe we'll get something out of it together. Okay, that's it for this week. Thanks for joining me. As always, if you have any questions, go ahead, send them to me, ken@don'tpunishpain.com. And until next time, I'm Ken McKim. You take care and be good to yourself.